Welcome back, everybody, to a new edition of How To Balatro. This episode, we will be focusing on vouchers. Now, it may be a given when people say that vouchers are on the importance level, on the urgency level, above tarot cards, above planet cards, on the same level as some jokers in terms of being able to provide massive buffs that help you scale as you're increasing your difficulty. The one thing that I will say is a lot of new players that I talk to, especially as the game continues to expand, right? A lot of people are discovering it on their phone. It was free with PlayStation Plus last month. So we're getting a lot of new blood kind of infused into the community. And the one thing they say is they don't pay as much attention to vouchers. They're more excited to see what jokers are in the shop. Sometimes they'll even kind of miss what the voucher is. To those people, I say that these are your biggest buffs that you can purchase at one time. Not necessarily over time. You open 20 tarot card packs, that is exponentially more influential on your run than vouchers. But in the short term, and especially if you're trying to get over the speed bump on Gold Stake, or you're trying to get over that 5 or 6 anti 5 or 6 and get into endless, then the vouchers could be like the final little sprinkle on the cupcake. You know what I'm saying? One thing I want to say before I get into this is that other than Def Jam Fight for New York, this how-to series has been my most watched and engaged with videos. So thank you for, I guess y'all find this helpful. I appreciate it. It's funny because I don't write this stuff down. I just kind of let it play off the dome and go through my experiences and kind of, I want to have a conversation with you, a one-sided conversation, rather than just like reading off a script, right? That's kind of boring. And sometimes it also helps me not to realize certain things that I can also communicate while we're going down this road, right? I'm more of it's a freestyle. So now it's out on parole. So let's start with, we're going to go through the collection first, and then I'll run a couple of rounds and we'll kind of see timing of when new vouchers come up, the viability and when to skip a blind to get the option to see 2 vouchers, which is one of my favorite blinds to skip if I am skipping, which means I'm not on Gold Stake and need to see more shops. And most importantly, we'll talk about some situations that make some vouchers that are normally not viable. So we'll start with Director's Cut and Retcon. These are vouchers that allow you to skip the boss blind once. Now, this voucher will cost you $10 or $7 and $5 respectively if you get, if you have the clearance sale and liquidation ones. This is like similar to like, you know, when you go into Bath and Body Works and they have the buy one, get 76 lotions free sale all the time. That's like clearance sale, right? That's like, okay, that's pretty good. But then like every once in a while you walk into a store that has like 50% off everything with like no markups. And you're like, what's the deal here? And that's liquidation. So for this, you would need $10 to buy the voucher, $10 to re-roll the boss blind. So that's $20, which is a no-brainer if you are potentially looking at a boss blind that could fully disable your entire strategy. Let's say playing only one hand type and your top hand is 4 of a kind right now, and you don't have a lot of confidence that you can hit a 4 of a kind 2 or 3 times effectively to get past it. If you're playing face cards and they're about to be debuffed, that's the one I can think of that really screws people over a lot. This is worth it. There are other options to re-rolling boss blinds, such as skippable blinds that allow you to do that, which are a Hail Mary. And there's also ways to kind of get around it if you can see it coming down the pike. You know, I just tend to not play face cards over numbered cards because there is no boss blind applicable to numbered cards, and except the one where you can't play previous ones on the ante. Unless I get this, and then I'll play early. But I never pick this up in ante 1, 2, or 3. It's kind of like a blank voucher. I never get it early. This allows unlimited rerolls. I think that if you need multiple rerolls, you probably don't have as fine-tuned of a strategy. You shouldn't need more than one reroll, right? There shouldn't be more than one boss blind. If you've got your hand set up, if you've got your deck thinned, if you've got certain other vouchers, jokers that are synergized, I don't necessarily think you need to do this. These are probably my least favorite vouchers in the entire game, and that's because they really don't serve much of a purpose for me until you get to Illusion. This is just plain old, like, you could buy cards in the shop for like $1 or $2 or something, and they don't come with seals or any type of enhancements in the beginning, unlike Illusion. Now, the one time that I will use this is if I have the hologram joker that increases 0.25 molt each time you add a playing card to your hand. I will pick up Magic Trick if I haven't paired the hologram with either a DNA, which makes a copy of a card, or if I haven't partnered it with the joker that adds one stone card to your deck each round you play. That's big because that allows you to get a lot of stone cards, which can really help you bail you out if you're playing 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, if you're playing any kind of non-5 card based hand. And if you get the joker that adds chips for every stone card in your hand, now all 3 are coming up simultaneously, and I do like that. Although you're not pulling your cards as often as you want, so that normally tends to be we're playing pairs or we're playing high card. If you go back and look at some of my streams, I have gold stake things playing pairs, playing high card, and that's just because you can do it with the right strategy. It doesn't always need to be full houses, 4 of a kinds, straights that get you through there. If Illusion was Magic Trick, this would be very, very helpful. It's not. It costs me $20 to get both, which I can get these in spectral decks or spectral packs or tarot packs for $4. So unless Illusion was Magic Trick and it was just a single voucher, it's not really for me. These are the ones that get asked often on the Reddit as well as from new players. What is the point of this? The point of this, for me, has ever been I'm sitting there at gold stake ante 5 and I'm looking at a series of jokers that if they had a little bit more time to grow, right? The ones that grow over time, like Timu Dracula, right? Alucard Vampire, or Constellation, or Hologram, Green Joker, Ride the Bus. If you can throw another 15 high cards out there in the time and get 15 more molt on your Green Joker and 15 more molt on your Ride the Bus, then you would pick this up if you feel like you're not strong enough to get past whatever the next chip requirements are for those antes. So these are really only, I'm sitting here at ante 4 or 5. You never buy this at ante 1 or 2, there's no point. I'm sitting here at ante 4 or 5 and I'm not scaling quick enough, and I would need an absolute bailout joker to stop our run from crashing at this point, or I can spend $10, go back in ante and get to see another 3 shops and get another 8, 10, 12 hands to buff my jokers. Other than that, I never touch these. These are, like in football, they're the Hail Mary, right? These are like 4 wideouts and they're just running down the field and you're going to throw it up and hopefully someone catches it. These are very situational, and I don't think I've purchased one since I came back to the game a few months ago. Oh, good old paintbrush and palette. I almost prefer these, and this is just personal preference, but I almost prefer these to the +1 hand, because I feel like this makes every hand more powerful because you have more options and you see more cards, whereas this makes one more hand more powerful because you gain those extra hands. Does that make sense? This is a permanent buff across every hand you're going to play, whereas the +1 hand is a buff at the end of your round. I'm sure there might be spreadsheets, math, everything that shows that I am wrong. Black deck is my hardest deck to do because I'm short 1 hand despite the extra jokers. So I might actually be proven wrong, but that's just logically, that's my personal opinion. I take these all the time, and if you get a paintbrush and you get a palette, and then all of a sudden Stuntman is sitting there in ante 6 or 7, which is the Joker that gives you 250 chips but takes away 2 hand size, all of a sudden you're at a zero-sum game again, but you've got 250 chips to show for it, which is nothing compared to what a Wii Joker can get to or what a Bull can get to. But if you don't have Bull or Wii Joker that are yoked at that point, if they're not trend daddies, then this provides more options. Love these. Let's go backwards. All right. Tarot Merchant, Tarot Tycoon. If I can afford it, I take these every single time. Same with Seed Money and Money Tree. These 4 over here, unless I am saving for something particular, or unless I sitting there and I'm looking at Seed Money, but I only have $11 and I desperately need another Joker to move on, yes, I'll forego it. But these 4 are my always purchase. When you get to Tarot Tycoon, every reroll has 2 or 3 tarot cards in it if you have the overstock vouchers, and you're seeing, if you've only have the option of 2, you might see 1 every hand. That means you have the opportunity to see more strength cards, more hanged man cards, and more death cards, aka more deck building cards. We love Empress, we love Hierophant, Wheel of Fortune, right? We love seeing the nope. But for the most part, I love the idea that I get to see more hangmen, more strength, and more death. At a point where the deck is thin enough, then you just get more excited to see death, because you now have, let's say, 50% of your deck is a card, and now you want to start deathing them to bring the enchantments or the seals with them. These 4, no-brainer. Seed Money, Money Tree. You're just making more money, right? Just that's what we do. Planet Merchant, Planet Tycoon. When all my Jokers are settled, when I feel like I can't get any better, I've got 2 Multimulters, I've got Wii Joker or Bull that are crushing the chip game, I've got Hack, which is helping Wii Joker go up, so that's a complimentary one, and I've got an Econ Joker. I'll pick up Planet Merchant or Planet Tycoon to give me different options. If I have Constellation, the Joker, then I'm picking these up. Otherwise, these are conditional. I don't go for them every time, but if my Jokers are set up, I'll fuck with them a little bit. Blank, Antimatter. I always buy a blank voucher when I see it and I've got money to spare. It's not something you're ever going to pick up in Ante 1, 2, or 3, similar to Director's Cut. You're never really going to pick it up early, but if you're sitting there in Ante 4, 5, 6, 7, and you've got the extra cash, just use it, because every 10 blank vouchers does nothing, ? It does something. It gives you antimatter. I personally don't find that antimatter fixes a bad run. If you're not set up, if you're looking at Ante 5 or 6 and you are one Joker away from potentially, like, if you've got like the sickest chips and molt setup, but you haven't found that one multer that's going to send you to the moon, sure, antimatter will help you. The other problem with antimatter is you don't get to choose when you're using it. You could literally write down and keep whatever. From what I can recall, and these are the 2 things with antimatter that you might tell me I'm wrong, and please put in the comments if I'm wrong. There's nothing in the game that keeps track of blank. Maybe they'll fix that in patch 1.1. There's nothing that tells you how many blanks are left before you get an antimatter. So unless you're keeping track in your mind, which when you smoke as much weed as I do, that becomes a little more difficult, then you're never knowing when you get antimatter. But I'll pick it up, and when antimatter shows up, great. The other problem with antimatter, and this was the question that I scoured the internet for, aka I asked Jeeves. I think you have to pick up antimatter as soon as it spawns. It's not like if you, well, not as soon, but in that 3 window, that 3 round ante, because I don't think it'll come back. I think once you pick up 10 vouchers, it shows up, And if you don't choose it, it's gone forever, right? It's like the love of your life, right? It's like you're at that pivot point, you're at that moment where it's like, let's do this or let's walk away. If you walk away, that's it. It's gone. You're not going to be able to, you know, friggin' 6 months from now, send them a random message saying, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Let's keep going. These four, we'll start with telescope and observatory. Telescope is a voucher that you should only pick up if you have identified how you are going to play your run. Meaning if you've got the Joker set up for straights and you're going to be playing primarily straights, pick up voucher when something else isn't too high. Telescope can really, really be awesome, but you have to have a direction as to which way you're playing. Let's say that I'm doing the pivot from full house to four of a kind, like I love doing. That helps me get through gold stake, and I've played 16 full houses, and now I'm going to four of a kind. This doesn't help me. This is just going to show me a guaranteed full house every time. I don't need that anymore. So just be careful with telescope, and just check your run info, and just make sure that whatever you're playing is either the highest on the right or close. Close is good too. If you're buying a telescope and your four of a kind is only 4 under your full house, you'll fix that in two rounds. So go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just be very careful with it. Observatory is fun. Observatory is good. It doesn't stack high enough for me, 1.5, unless you have the legendary Joker known as Dr. Perquacky, which creates a negative copy of one random consumable. Then you can just keep a planet card in your consumables and it'll forever make a copy. So at some point you've got 20, 30 copies and you now have times 30, times 40 mult. This is a broken system. I think it's purposely left in there to be broken. But if you can get Dr. Perky to get associated with your best planet card, which normally happens when a blue seal procs when you win and you get that little planet card up here, that's how you do it. So these two are conditionals. This is a big conditional for me. Maybe other people get it to work better. +1 discard and another +1 discard, +1 hand size, and +1 hand per round. I will always take all 4 of these if I have the money. Love them. I actually prefer discards over hands, which is crazy. If both were sitting there, and I'll show you an opportunity where both could be sitting there, and I only have a chance to pick one up, I always pick up discards. Discards, an extra discard makes every single hand potentially more powerful, where this again, you need to get less from every hand technically, but if you need the extra hand just to survive, something else is probably wrong. It's a great bonus. It's a great way to potentially hit ante 10, 11, 12 and endless, but I tend to prioritize the discard ones over. This might be like Omen Globe is the fucking best. So Crystal Ball +1 consumable slot, I'll always pick that up. Always. If I have a system set up where I've got purple seals which are making tarot cards, if I've got blue seals that are propagating planet cards, the last thing you want to do is have 2 blue seals in your deck, slam a 4 of a kind, win, and then realize you've got 2 tarot cards sitting here from a Joker or something and they don't go. So these are always must buys for me. Omen Globe puts puts spectral cards in Arcana packs. That's big for two reasons. One, spectral cards are far more powerful than tarot cards. But also you are now able to potentially get black holes and legendary Jokers in your Arcana packs. Wow. Top tier. Top tier Omen Globe. You might be the real MVP of vouchers. All right, last page. Let us start with reducing the cost of rerolls. I always buy these. If I have a choice between one Joker and a reroll in the beginning of the game, I'll probably pick the reroll Joker, because a reroll Joker is going to allow me to see another 4 or 5 shops if you reroll 6 to 8 times in a game, and those are like 0.5 shops each. These just equal potentially more shops, which is what you want if you're trying to gold stake. Hone and Glow Up, they just give you a 2 and 4% chance, respectively, to see more foil, holographic, or polychrome jokers. It is not something that I will ever break my budget for. If I'm sitting there with $14 and one of these pops up and I still need to dig up 2 jokers, or I still need to do some deck thinning, then I won't pick them up. But if I've got plenty of money, they're great. They're great, but there's other options for this, right? You open a tarot card or tarot pack with 4 whatever, or a spectral deck, or all these things that can add stuff. They're not at the top of my priority list, but they're close. Clearance sale, liquidation. Again, clearance sale, Bath and Body Works, liquidation, going out of business. They're just great. There's nothing wrong with them. This is something that if I have $11 and a sick joker is sitting in the shop, I might take clearance sale because it's going to help me for the rest of the game. And once you get a money joker and a reroll joker, then it makes pivoting, if you have to, much, much easier. It requires a lot less luck, a lot less RNG. All right, last ones, Overstock and Overstock Plus. Love them so much. More items in the shop means technically more shop. Now your rerolls have gone from like 0.5 more shops to 0.75 more shops. I don't know if I'm doing the math correctly. One small bonus about Overstock and Overstock Plus. If you buy Overstock and you're turning your shop, I wish we could see a shop. Let's go in and let's see a shop, and then I will explain. I did start an erratic deck. What do I got? I have 7 3s and 6 2s remaining. 8. Okay, I can go with this. I'm gonna throw this at it real quick. Let's take a look at a shop, and I'll give you a tip about Overstock. How many clubs do we have? Oh, no, we just have a limited amount of hearts. Good to know. All right, so when we go into this first shop, don't pay attention to this right now. We will not be taking this. It's way too early. There's 2 jokers here sitting in whatever this is, top of the shop. We'll call it a T and a S, top of the shop, or Terror Squad. TS. When you're sitting in Fat Joe's house, there's 2 items here. When you buy Overstock or Overstock Plus, it completely refreshes the inventory. So if I were to buy 2 of these and then buy Overstock, it would replenish this with 3 new cards in Fat Joe's residence. So if there's anything here that helps you, tarot card, planet card, joker, whatever it is, buy it before you pick up Overstock. Same with Overstock Plus. It'll propagate 4 new hands. Or sorry, 4 new options in this top part. So make sure you always do that. So I'm going to buy a quick buffoon pack. Sure, because Swashbuckler's not going to do anything right now. So this voucher is here. This voucher is purchasable. We are not purchasing it because we do not know exactly what direction we're going in. I'll pick this up too. And what we're going to be prioritizing. So the voucher resets every time you get through an ante. So if you see a voucher in the small blind that you cannot afford, you have 1 more shop to pick it up. That's it. Because at the end of the boss blind, it will be flipping to a different voucher. So you have 2 shops to pick that voucher up, not 3. Now, you will have... Nope, that's correct. Because even the shop after the... Let me think about that. The shop after the boss blind... Yeah, the shop after small blind, the shop after big blind. Okay, you do have 3 shops. But you need to pick it up before you do the boss battle. That is just imperative. I'll throw flushes just because it's easy as shit right now. Let's just, oh, not even prioritizing Mad Joker. Mad Joker is mad that I'm not prioritizing Mad Joker. I'll go with the 3s and 2s. So let's keep going a little bit. We'll beat the boss blind, and then we'll see the voucher flip over. So this is the Marble Joker was the one that I mentioned goes really well with hologram. Does not do anything for us right now, but all right, let's get out of here. Let's go. Are you too good for your home? Let's get out of here. All right, let's see what the next voucher is. And then I'm hoping I can see a blind that doubles the voucher. If not, we'll just talk about it. So this is Tarot Merchant. I will be purchasing Tarot Merchant. I have $16, and it is an incredible way to do it. And I'm going to buy Walkie Talkie because now we have something to build around. Now, if you go to Run Info and you go to Blinds, you can see that we do not have a skippable blind here for vouchers. I'll give it one more run, and then I'll just explain it instead of showing it. And then you go to vouchers and you can see what you have redeemed at any point. So we'll play another hand real quick. And Walkie Talkie is not going to be a Joker. Wow, can I not? Oh shit, I don't even know what my totals are because I did erratic deck. Walkie Talkie, with the way our deck is built, thanks to erratic just throwing shit against the wall, this is not going to be a forever Joker. This is just going to be something that I play around with right now until I can get a better option, right? So we've got 3 8s and 2 7s. We're looking for Hack. We're looking for Fibonacci. We're looking for Joker. We could, if we had to, if we get to the point where we get a strength card in the shop, at the top of the shop, then we could strength 2 3s into 4s, and we already have 5 10s. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I need to try to keep just making sure that I will buy a Magician. We are dead broke. Skip for a foil, just because we're on the easiest difficulty right now. Get rid of all of you. Oh, my 3s came back. Cool. Just gonna lucky these for now. We don't like lucky cards most often because they just like, let's see if any hit. They really don't hit that often. I prefer like Empress or Hierophant or something, but that's okay. And Bean is gone. Wow, that is terrible. That's pretty terrible too. Okay, so we have a new voucher, Planet Merchant. Yes, we're broke, but I also would not take this if for some reason I was sitting there looking at $100. And that's because these are not anywhere close to viable for later in the game. The only Joker here that could be a viable play would be... Also, why doesn't this tell me how many are left? That's ass, man. The only one that's viable could be Walkie Talkie. And if you can get this working, if you can pair it with, what is that, the Abstract Joker or something that makes all red cards act like each of them and all black cards that act like each of them, I'll have to look it up just because... I cannot remember what it is, and it should be incredibly easy to see because it's smeared. That's funny. It was smeared. Yeah, so don't really care about Planet Merchant, but we would not pick it up if we had $20 because it just pollutes this with less Joker options and more Planet options. So we did not get anything here. But there is one last part I'll put on this video, and that is there is a blind that you can get 2 vouchers. If I have the money for it and I'm cruising, I always take that blind. Because if you can get +1 hand size and plus a discard at the same time for $20, there is no measuring how much that is going to help you moving forward. That can potentially fix any bad luck you got, like me sitting here at ante 3 and having Jokers that can get me through ante 5 or 6, but that would bottom out and crash. If you've got those extra 2 Jokers, that can patch, Band-Aid, spackle, Gorilla Glue, double-sided tape, I think this analogy's gone off the rails. These metaphors are not metaphoring anymore. It can help you bridge towards getting better luck, better jokers, more viability in the way that your hand is constructed. So I do, if we were ranking skip blinds, I never take a mega standard pack unless I've got hologram or I'm desperate for something, desperation for what, I don't know. I never take the rerolls or $0. But the 2 vouchers, it almost feels like a rarer blind because I see it less often. And I think that's because personally I really like it, and it might be one of the higher tiered ones. Anyway, that is everything with vouchers. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Quick 30 minutes on it. If you do know any answers to that antimatter question that Jeeves could not supply me with the answer, please let me know. Put it in the comments. It will really help new players. And I will see everybody tomorrow for some more videos. Take care of yourselves.